Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
The more and more we go through these countdown videos with the 49ers, you know, the 49ers were the first team recently to do this, NFL Redshirt type program. And kind of the philosophy is, man, let's get the vets out there, train the rookies up. Whenever they're ready for their moment, they step into it. But the problem is the 49ers have drafted so many and kept so many good players. Some of these redshirt guys aren't even getting their sophomore year opportunity to shine. And that's where number 30, cornerback Darrell Luter Jr. kind of fits in. And it comes to number 30. It was 45 last year on our countdown as a rookie. He's jumped 15 spots, which is huge. But, man, I've been out of training camp. He's buried in this rotation. Like, I do not believe he's to the point where he's going to start getting those snaps. Now, listen to the defensive coordinator, Nick Sorensen, talk about him.
Right, when you see him, stout, built a lot like Mooney, he's big, he's got length, and he's learning to use that. I think with him, it stunk because we were excited for him really quick last year when he got here, and then got injured pretty quickly. And then when he came back, it was, mid-season or later in the season, and then saw some flashes. And so it's about growth. And again, he's a competitive guy. He's really smart. He's a guy that really, really, really cares. So seeing him progress and utilize his size and his length and then his brain and how he sees things, he's progressed the right way, and just can't wait to see him when he comes back after these 40 days.
And so that was this year, at OTA's minicamp, obviously. So he came back. He's healthy. He's been out there pretty much every single day. But, man, he's not working with the second team. He's working with the third teamers. Now he gets some reps with the twos. I'm not trying to say, he's not out there. But to say that, he's in the mix for starting snaps or whatever, it's special teams only at this point. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't like him. This is one of the first years ever the 49ers have the cornerback depth that they should have. I mean, they're at the top of the NFL list with cornerback depth, and he fits into that story. But the idea of, draft a player, wait a year, compete year two, outside of injuries, Darrell Luter Jr. is going to have to wait. Now, you look at the corners who are not going to be back next year, yeah, it's a long list. Contract year for Charvarius Ward. Contract year for Diamador Lenore. You brought in a couple free agent mercenaries with one-year deals. I don't think the 49ers would really be uncomfortable with Darrell Luter Jr. waiting one more year and then going and competing his junior year for a spot, but that looks to be like what it is. Shout out to my man Dave, who's the executive producer of today's show. He's the best there is. So let's dive into who is Darrell Luter Jr. Wears number 28 out there, 6 foot 190. That's awesome. Exactly what the Niners want. Almost 33-inch arms, top 81 percentile of NFL corners, 10 and 3/8-inch hands. That's top 98%. Huge hands. 24 years old, still young. Ran a 4.4 640. That's great. 6.93 cone shifty. 40.5-inch vertical. That's top 91 percentile. 10.3 broad jump. Good. You enter in all of his traits into, mock draftable, and Sean Bunting, Kendall Fuller, Richard Sherman, those guys fit this scheme to a 10. His traits are great, and he's going into his second season. Fun player. Went to Oak Grove High School and was big time there. 3 years lettered in football, 2 in basketball, 1 in track. Was kind of all over the place, but never really offered big-time scholarships. Was a 2-star recruit. Some of the schools, Houston, Purdue, Rutgers, Southern Miss, Coastal Carolina, all that stuff. But kind of it shows his way. Southern Alabama, played in the Sun Belt. That's what's up. It didn't get a lot of the competition, but then, I remember breaking down his tape, which we have. You want to go watch what he did in college, which, we haven't seen him play much last year's rookie year. We have a lot of his tape up on the 49ersrush.com. Almost every single player on this, countdown, we've got some version of stuff on there. Now, some of the undrafted free agents, it's kind of hard to find, whatever. But we got tape up there. And even though you talk about, okay, playing the Sun Belt, not playing against great competition, but he had games where he played against UCLA, where he played against, some SEC schools being in that geographic area. He showed out. He played well. Very aggressive, sticky corner, long, physical. That's who he is. And the idea was, he was going to be the Ambry Thomas replacement. Ambry Thomas don't like contact. Yeah, Darrell Luter feeds off of it. So if you could get Ambry Thomas that likes contact, now you're going to be all right. That's not happening in camp. Ambry Thomas working with the twos. Rock Ya-Sin working with the twos. Darrell Luter Jr. not working with the twos. That might change, but, we're at the turning point of July, the end of July, and it's like, all right, we'll see what happens, But anyway, played 36 games in 3 years at South Alabama, 16 passes deflect, 5 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. Did a lot of great things, and he transferred there from Poplarville, Mississippi Community College, where he played 2 years. He's been through a lot. He's a dad already, was a father before he before he came to the NFL. This is a mature man, husband, married. He's 24, but me and Wayne, we would always we call him Pops because that's just the way that he comes across, is mature, and you see him talk at the podium. After some of his rookie stuff, it's like, all right, this is a guy that's got his head together. Now, here's the question. What did he do last year? Didn't do much. He had one huge play on special teams where he saved a touchdown. It was off kickoff return. We had a huge blown coverage. It was a terrible kick. And he chased down, it was at Seattle Thanksgiving, we were there, and he saved the touchdown, and we eventually held them to a field goal, I believe. Dwayne Eskridge, I think is who it was. And so, that was huge. That was kind of his, moment. In the Super Bowl is the exact opposite. He was the punt gunner, stopping the punt gunner, and the ball bounced off of his ankle. It was a turnover in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Samuel Womack's a healthy scratch, not even playing. How much is that his fault, or is the special teams coordinator? I put it on the special teams coordinator completely. Why the heck would you keep your best special teams player on the sideline? No clue. I think, the reason why, I think Darrell Luter provides more of a cover corner from the outside standpoint than Samuel Womack, but I don't think that it was enough of a difference with the special teams play, and the proof is in the pudding. It led to a turnover. It's what it is. It's what it is. We had a lot of them. Now, he had 7 tackles all of last season. Played in 3 games: the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams. And then the Super Bowl, of course. But he was a 5th-round pick. Picked 20th overall in the 5th round in 2023, and struggled through camp last year because he was on the pup. He had an issue where he hyperextended his knee. Took him a long time, so he was behind the 8 ball from the start. Now he's out there, so he's getting the reps, which is huge. I really do like that. And I mean, he wasn't, he was on the pup until November 18th. So this year is huge. So maybe the Niners are looking and saying, look, man, last year wasn't even your rookie year. This year's your rookie year. Now, we got him, which is interesting, in the Jeff Wilson trade. We traded Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins for a 5th-round pick, number 155 overall. That's what we used for Darrell Luter. Free pick. That's an absolute fleeced him on that trade, but picks got to turn into something. So far, Darrell Luter Jr. has not turned into anything good. He looks good out there in camp. He does, but at some point, you got to do something. And I don't even think he's cornerback 4 on the outside. Might be cornerback 5. I think he's 5. I think outside corner goes Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore. Sadly, Ambry Thomas is getting all those snaps still. Haven't learned our lesson of what happens in game time. Number 4 is going to be Rock Ya-Sin. Sorry. No, number 3 is Isaac Yiadom. Let me redo this. I'm sorry. A typo on my part. Okay? Charvarius Ward 1. Diamador Lenore 2. Isaac Yiadom 3. Ambry Thomas 4. Rock Ya-Sin 5. Darrell Luter 6. And he's only playing on the outside. It's crazy cornerback depth. He's making this roster. But it's going to be special teams and just a depth piece until there's an injury. That's just what it's going to be. And 49ers got a lot of, depth at the cornerback spot. We haven't even talked about nickel. That's just outside, guys. But he's making it. Rock Ya-Sin, we'll see. Ambry Thomas, I don't know why he's getting all the reps he's getting, but it's what it is. So, Darrell Luter, I think it's still a wait-and-see approach. And, we've been so torched by the cornerback position, the Niners are in this weird 2024 bubble where it's like we've got ace starters and we've got crazy depth. Could be the most, I feel weird saying this, it might be our biggest positional advantage across the NFC. It really is. The depth in starting players. Now, we don't have, Charvarius Ward was a second-team All-Pro last year, but, man, we've got a lot of guys there, and I love it for one. So, Darrell Luter, we'll see. Expectations relatively low for this year, but the Niners are going to be depending on him sooner than later. Next year is probably going to be his year. He'll compete for a starting spot with his rookie year delayed with the pup, but we'll see. So, go surprises, Pops. Can't wait to see you out there, number 28. And for us, we'll just keep counting them down.